What's going on, everybody? We're back in the house. This is the Fryar place. I'm trying to turn my phone off. I'm looking at the video, the podcast on my phone, and I got the phone up, and I'm trying to turn it off. Got to check the phone to make sure everything's going well. Okay. All right. I got it under control now. What's going on? Come on in the house. Scott Teller is already here. Scott was waiting by the wayside for the Fryar place to start. Listen, we thank all of you who support us on a weekly basis. You come in, you watch, you make comments, you listen, you pay attention, you come back the next week and do the same thing over and over again. So we thank all of you. I see a bunch of people who have logged in right now. Come on, shout out to me. Let me know who you are. Say who you are. Scott Teller is in the house. He's watching the Fryar place on YouTube, the YouTube channel. Vincent Capriati is in the house. I see you. Vinny is in the house. Who else is watching right now? There's a bunch of people watching right now. You must have been waiting. You must have your notifications buttons active for the Fryar place because you were there before the introduction finished. So glad that you're here. Listen, you know what we have to do all the time at the beginning of the show? We have to pay the bills. So we'll be right back. Mama, I see you. My mama's in the house. Yay. Let me give my mama a hand clap. That's for my mama. Love you, Mom. But we got to pay the bills, so we'll be right back, all right? See you after this.
Planning a special trip or a night out? Don't bother with the hassle of driving, parking, and traffic. Just call Ed's Smooth Transport. One-way or round trips available. We will take you there, and we will also pick you up. Enjoy a night on the town with Ed's Smooth Transport. Call us 609-471-2653 or 609-314-6619. Visit our website to take advantage of our monthly specials at www.smooftransport.com. Ed's Smooth Transport, where experience meets comfort.
In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, there's a slightly slower pace of living. That's also where you'll find the home of Stoltz Fish Structures, where quality, integrity, and world-class customer service are more than just a way to do business. It's a way of life. From our humble beginning over 40 years ago in a small building, to the modern 65,000 square foot facility of today, we've remained at the forefront of our industry. Everything from gazebos and sheds to garages and pergolas, and everything in between.
Hey, we're back. All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. Listen, shout out to me if you're watching right now. I only have 3 people who have announced themselves, who have put a comment in the comments, in the chat. There he is. Leminski. Brian, what's going on? I know you all are sitting out there. I have my numbers right in front of me. You can't run. You can't hide. I see you. Once you log in, I got the numbers. So just holler at me and let me know. It's good to see you. It's good to know who's watching. It's good to know how many of you are watching. That's, that all has to do with, how the show works and how long we stay on and what kind of sponsors we get, Y'all help a brother out. But anyway, listen, we have a great show today. This is going to be a little bit, not even a little bit different because, all of my guests are special guests. All of my guests, whether they're a professional athlete, whether they're a financial advisor, whether they're a mental health and wellness therapist, whatever space they come from, they all have a great story. And I have a young man who is with me today who I've seen him several times. He's been to places that we do. Hollis Thomas and I do, I do another podcast called Vetted with Hollis Thomas. It's a Eagles focused podcast. And he's been to Vetted several times to support us. He's friends with Shirley, Eagles Shirley, who is a crazy, crazy Eagles fan. He was actually at the show last night that we did last night at the locker room Vetted. He's a patent lawyer in Philadelphia, as you probably see in the heading of this post. But I want to bring him in the room because He has a great story. I want him to share it with us today because, yes, this is the Fryar Place where the conversations are fire. So, everybody, if you would put your hands together and welcome to the Fryar Place. Put your hands together. Yep, there it is. Neil Maskeri. Yes, I said that right?
Yep, you said it
Good.
right, man.
Yeah, I said it right. Good. Neil Maskeri. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
Good. Jamie, is it Beasel? I think, is that how you say your last name, Jamie?
Beisel.
Is that Beisel? Okay, that's one of your hometown people. Yeah, Jamie Beisel. Okay, I got it. I said Beasel. Beisel. All right, I mess people's names up. I can't stand myself when I do that. Brian Leminski. I got that right. Brian is in the house. Yep. Good to see you, brother. Billy Bell is in the house. Thank you, Billy Bell. You're loyal. You're faithful. You're a supporter. Thank you so much for always being here at the Fryar Place. What Jamie said, he's got the thumbs up. Jamie, thumbs up. Thanks, Jamie. Sorry for messing your name up the first time. But thanks, man. How you doing? What's going on? How you been?
I've been doing great.
Good.
First of all, thank you for calling me young man. No
you
one's called me that in a long time.
Well, look, you're younger than I am. Everybody, you're younger than me. But time works against us. You know that, right? People will procrastinate about, getting things done or doing certain things or accomplishing certain things. They have dreams and aspirations, and they wait and they wait and they wait. But they don't realize that time doesn't work for us. Time works against us. The more time that passes, the less time we have. So you got to do what you got to do while you can still do it. So yeah, you're a young man, and I appreciate you coming on today. Talk to me about, first of all, before we get into your story, and I'm gonna let you turn it loose, man. But before we get into your story, you live in Philadelphia. You have a wife and one kid, son or daughter?
Daughter.
Have a daughter. Have a wife and a daughter. So you're only male in the house. God bless you. You're a patent lawyer. Explain to the people who are listening and who will be listening what exactly that is and what exactly you do and how exactly you can help them.
Sure. So basically, what I do is I help people with their ideas. They come to me and I draft a document called a patent application, file it at the patent office, get it through there, and hopefully at the end of the day, you have a patent, which grants you rights in that idea. So if anyone is encroaching on those rights, you have something to go after them with. Okay.
Because I'm sure there are people who probably need a patent for something they are involved in. Why exactly would someone need a patent, and for exactly what? I'm sure it's broader than I'm thinking, but for what reason would a person need a patent? And just tell us that. Tell us that.
So it's basically a property right. So anything that you want to protect, it could be a particular design that you came up with, or if you come up with some kind of widget or anything really that you want to sell and monetize, you want to get protection for that. It can even be software, pretty much anything. You can obtain a patent for that, and it essentially gives you a fence around the idea to keep your competitors from doing the same thing.
Okay, so do you need patents for like certain phrases? Like if you have an original phrase, there's not too many original phrases anymore. But if you have some kind of original phrase, would it be smart? Would it be worthwhile getting a patent for that particular phrase?
Well, when you're talking about phrases and things of that nature, you're crossing into the realm of trademarks.
Okay, all right. I knew there was something. Help a brother out. I'm not in that. I'm not in that vein. So there's patents and there's trademarks, and when you talk about what establishes the difference, where is the line between patents and trademarks? What makes the difference?
So trademarks are things that you would go for, like logos, um, like taglines,
Okay,
things like that.
gotcha.
Patents you go for, they're more like, uh, they can be tangible assets, like you come
Okay,
up with a widget or something like that, or software, um, you know, things like that.
okay. That's the word. That's the key word there. Tangible assets. I'll keep that in mind. So I don't need to trademark the fireplace.
Well, yeah, yeah. There's
I
some
don't,
nuance
I don't need to
there, but
patent the fireplace. I don't need to trademark or patent the fireplace. It is what it is.
right.
I
But
don't think anybody can steal this. So listen, again, Christopher Cunningham, what's going on? How are you? The moose is in the house. The moose is loose. It's your 50th birthday weekend has begun. Happy birthday to you, brother. God bless you. 50. I remember 50 a long time ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I sat in the house on my 50th birthday and watched Tiger Woods play the Masters all day. That's what I did on my 50th birthday. I didn't move off the couch. Didn't move at all. 50 years old. Lemensky, if you're starting a business or have a business, got to protect your technology with patents and your brand with trademarks. Got you,
that's
Brian.
right.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
Brian's my boy.
Okay. Brian he's your right hand man. Got you. He's got this
That's
thing
right.
down. Let me throw it up on the screen. There it is right there on the screen. Thank you, Brian, for clarification. All right. We're taking a class right now in trademarks and in patents, a patents trademarks class right now. Thank you very much. But listen, you're in Philly. You're friends with Shirley. Are you an Eagles fan? Are you a sports fan?
Oh, of course. What kind of
Yeah.
question is that?
Oh, well, I'm just asking. You're hanging around Shirley. I mean, you have to be if you're hanging around Shirley. But I'm just
Yeah.
checking just to make sure. I didn't know if it was something that you were a fan before you met her, or a fan, all your life, or is this something that's fairly new, or how long you been an Eagles fan?
I'm a fan for life since probably I was 5 years old.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you have a special story. This is why you're here today. Your story is a story with a battle. You're battling cancer right now.
Hmm.
Am I correct? Right? Shake your head.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
You're
correct.
battling, and you were actually watching the Fryar Place, and thank you very much. You were watching the Fryar Place. Not only do you follow us with Vetted, but you support the Fryar Place. And a few weeks ago, I had a young fellow by the name of Scott Teller on, and Scott was telling his story, and you called Scott and talked to him about possibly coming and being a guest here at the Fryar Place. And lo and behold, here you are, because Scott called me and talked to me about your story and said, listen, this is a guy that really, when you were telling him, what you're getting ready to tell us, it really touched him. It moved him. And he said to me, listen, you need to hear this story. He needs to be on the Fryar Place, and the people who follow the Fryar Place need to hear this story, and anybody else who will watch it later on. So why don't you tell us about this battle that you're in right now? You're in it right now against prostate cancer. And I'm impressed. First of all, let me say this. I've seen you, met you a couple of times, met you the first time, but I've seen you 2 or 3 times, and I would never think that something was going on like that in your life. You're upbeat, you're positive, you're smiling, you're approachable, you're friendly. You are. And when he told me who it was, I was like, huh? So I would never have guessed that you're fighting this battle, because no one would ever know it. At least I didn't know it, by way of what we see on the outside and what seems to be coming from the inside, which is a genuine, friendly, kind, happy young man. So talk to everybody. Tell them, when this whole thing started, and how you're dealing with this thing, and what's going on. All right.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. First of all, I want to preface this by saying that I believe I'm the luckiest guy in the world. we found this out uh, essentially by pure luck.
Hmm.
Um, I had no symptoms or anything. Um,
And how long
and
ago? How
what
long
happened?
ago did you find out? How long ago?
It's been 3 years.
3 years. Hmm.
Yeah. So my primary care physician retired, and I had to find a new doctor. And my new doctor is super thorough, and she checked everything. And because I was under the age of 50 and had no family history of prostate cancer, my previous doctor never checked my PSA levels.
Hmm.
Um, but my new doctor, thank goodness, she checked everything, and my PSA levels were through the roof. Um, and they were so crazy that we checked them 2 or 3 times just to see like
Right.
what's
Yeah.
going on here. And they said, your PSA levels are higher than an 80-year-old man.
Wow.
Um, and then they did a bunch of other tests. They did a bone scan, MRI, CAT scan, and you name it, all kinds of blood work. Uh, and then the results came in, and they said I'm in advanced stage prostate cancer. Um,
So
so
so let me pause right there. Let me if I can stop because I'm we haven't talked about this. We haven't had a conversation about this. And I told you before we came on that I'm going to generate questions out of this conversation that, obviously pop into my head. But when you were told, oh my gosh, because listen, I'm 61 years old, be 62 at the end of this month. And my PSAs are all right. I get checked all the time. I don't fart around with that stuff, man. I don't, because I've got, not a history, but I know people who have died people my age who died 15 years ago from prostate cancer because they didn't go get checked. And had they gotten checked, had they had been monitored, and I know some of it was because people don't have access to health care. Some of it's because of that. But had they gotten checked, they'd still be alive today. So I don't mess around with it. So I get checked all the time. Cancer, years ago when I was a kid, was a death sentence. When you heard somebody had cancer, when they found out they had cancer, they would just give up because there was really no hope. There wasn't fight like there is now. There wasn't medicine. Modern technology wasn't what it is now. Modern medicine wasn't what it is now, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago when I was a kid. When you were told by your doctor that you had, in that advanced stage of prostate cancer, what went through your mind, man? How did you feel? What did you do?
yeah. To be honest with you, I just laughed. Um, it was probably out of exasperation,
Right. Mm-hmm.
um, mainly because a few years before that, I had survived a heart attack. And when I was a teenager, I had another form of cancer. So I was like, oh man, not again.
Wow.
Uh, so it was just like kind of a laugh of exasperation. And um, then, after like 2 minutes, I just gathered myself. I said, okay, I've been through this before. What do we need to do?
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor gave me three options uh, of varying degrees of uh, I don't know of
Treatment.
aggressiveness. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I chose the most aggressive one,
Mm-hmm.
um, and because I just what I just want to knock this out, um, and uh, since I'm on the younger side, my body's been able to handle it pretty well, um, and so uh, my treatment basically consisted of it was 9 weeks of radiation, um, and I'm taking oral chemotherapy drugs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I also get hormone injections. So the chemo and the hormone injections are for a total of 3 years. And in uh, November, I'm scheduled for my last injection,
Hmm.
and then hopefully at that time I can also stop the oral drugs, and I can move on.
So you've been doing chemotherapy for 3 years now,
Hmm.
and you were projected to do this for 3 years.
Well, they said that the treatment term
Hmm.
is a minimum of 2 years and a maximum of three.
Okay.
So after two, all my blood work and everything was coming out great. Um, and the doctor said I can stop treatment at any time now since I passed the 2 year mark and everything looked good. So I asked him, uh, what's the upside for continuing? And he
Hmm.
said, well, you'll live longer. And I said, okay, sign me up. Let's do it. Let's go 3 years.
Live longer sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
let's live longer.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing now? I mean, are you cancer free?
Uh, Not yet. I guess we'll find out in a few months. I mean, all the tests are coming out uh, positive in the sense that I'm right where I should be, uh, and then we'll just monitor uh, continuously after I'm done with the treatment. Hopefully, it won't come back, but if it does, then we'll have to address it then.
So wait a minute. Anybody who's been in an advanced stage of cancer, most of the time, I've been told that the doctor tells them ain't nothing we can do. It's advanced
Hmm.
stage. Just hang in there. We'll try to keep you as comfortable as possible and just wait. Just wait it out. Your days are limited. I mean, all of our days are limited. We're all going to pass away at some point, but we want to keep living. Like let's keep
Yeah.
living. What is it about you? Because we're going to go back and we're going to talk about the first cancer you had when you were a teenager. But what is it about you? Do you think that because I've never heard before someone being in an advanced stage of cancer, and then now here you are. Oh, la di da di da. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I can even stop taking my medicine if I want to. According to the doctor, my numbers are down. It's no longer. How do you get from an advanced stage of cancer to like where you are?
Well, I think one is it's the nature of this particular type of cancer.
Hmm.
Um, and the other factor is um, I think my relative youth. Usually, people that get prostate cancer, they're in their 70s or 80s
Okay.
or older. Um, and the other thing, quite honestly, I think is my attitude. Um, I don't let it slow me down. Um, I'm happy. I'm enjoying life. Doing the things that I want to do every day,
Hmm.
and I think that goes a long way when you're dealing with something like this.
I know people who have had to take chemotherapy, take that kind of treatment for cancer, prostate cancer, in fact, and it just wipes them out. It wipes
Hmm.
them out, man. How does that happen with you, or have you been able to have a somewhat of a positive response to the medicine, to the chemo?
It does wipe me out. It is, it's not easy. The fatigue is real.
Hmm.
Um, but like anything else, you push through it. Um, and if I need to, I'll take a nap, just like a quick 20-minute power nap, and then get back up and continue doing what I was doing. Um, and some days are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I'm perfectly fine. Other days it can be a real struggle to get that energy level back up.
Is it a struggle when you have those days and you're struggling with your level of energy to just, I guess I'm thinking that you're struggling just to function and do the normal things you need to do throughout the day, let alone work. But
Yeah.
what besides taking a nap, in what other ways does it have an impact on you that the fatigue and all?
Uh, Sometimes it's really hard to focus
Okay.
and concentrate. I mean, when you're exhausted and
Right.
you can't move, like it's sometimes the focus is really difficult. Um, but I found that um, exercise helps a lot with that. So I try to get out, get some fresh air, walk the dog, do something,
Hmm.
uh, get get the blood flowing. That usually helps.
Right. So what is your message to someone who's dealing with or who may have just been diagnosed or who is going through chemo, who's struggling with it, who may be thinking about giving up, who may, have negative thoughts on a moment to moment basis, and they may even be thinking they're not going to make it. What is your message? Because you've been through it, brother. You've been through it for 3 years. Hats off to you.
Mhm.
Hats off to you. That's a fight. That's a struggle. That's a battle, and it's not a quick battle. That's a long battle. 3 years is not a short period of time to have chemotherapy and to come from, advanced cancer to now, you're healthy. You're healthy, and you're able to function at a normal level. So, what is your message to someone who may be dealing with it, and your message to men just in general?
I would say stay positive, um, and whenever those negative thoughts creep in, um, think of all the stuff that you do have and the things that are going right for you now. Um, think about your family and the people that are counting on you. Um, and I think it is a tough thing
Hmm.
um, to deal with, but always remember that you're not alone.
You have a wife. You have a daughter. How old is your daughter?
17.
Okay, so she can understand. Um,
Yeah.
so how 3 years ago she was 14. How,
Mhm.
when you got the news from the doctor, I'm sure you came home at some point. You came home and told,
Yeah.
and at some point you told your wife, and the two of you decided to tell your daughter. How have they been dealing with it, or how did they deal with it at the beginning? We know how they're dealing with it now because things have gotten better. So they're obviously looking back and saying, yeah, let's keep this thing going. We're going to be positive. Let's encourage dad. Let's encourage my husband. But at first, how did, because there are people, again, as we just talked about, there are people who are dealing with this. There are people who are going to deal with this. Make sure you go get checked. But when you have to deal with it, there are people who are connected to you, who love you, who are accountable to you, who you're accountable to as well, that you take care of, who go through it too. It may not be directly with them, but because you're going through it, they're suffering as well. They're dealing with it too. How did your wife and your daughter, how did they deal with it?
Uh, so let me see. So on the way home from the doctor, the first the first few minutes of the car ride, it was just me and my wife in there.
Hmm.
The first few minutes of the car ride where it was absolute silence. I
I
had
can I can only
all
imagine.
sorts of thoughts.
I can only imagine. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't mean to laugh, but my goodness. I mean, yeah, I can only imagine. Oh my goodness.
yeah, and yeah, I'm sure my wife had all sorts of thoughts going through. Um, and then she just turned to me and said, "You got this," and that's all I needed to hear. Um,
Wow.
and you know, we've been through a lot. Like I mentioned, like I had the heart attack before. Like we got through that. Um, so you know, like we're kind of used to this. Sad to say, but
You don't want to get used to
um,
this. Well, I mean, everybody is dealing with something. Everybody has, you know, challenges that happen in our lives. So I guess everybody, you know, we can all say in our own space, yeah, we're used to this because everybody, but you know, some are a different level than others, you know, in comparison, I guess, you know, having to pay a bill and having to deal with cancer is two different things. You're talking about life and death with cancer. You're talking about getting evicted or having your car repossessed. When you talk about paying a bill, that's way different. You get another car, you can, you know, you can move somewhere else. Talk about the heart attack. You had a heart. How many years prior to your diagnosis with cancer did you have your heart attack?
uh, 4 years.
Okay.
4 years.
And tell us about that. What was that all about? What were you? Was there something you were doing? Something you weren't doing? Were you not exercising? Were you not eating right? Is it something that just was a freak thing?
I mean, I was actually exercising a lot, um, and uh, it it actually turned out that the treatment of my cancer from when I was a kid
Uh huh.
caused this 30 years later.
Wow.
So I had radiation in the chest, and that caused calcification in my coronary arteries, which no one knew about. Um,
So that never
and
happened to anybody before. The doctors didn't know about that.
I think it was just starting to come to light that there might be
Okay.
some connection there,
Wow.
but I don't think at the time it was like a super well known
Okay.
issue. Um, yeah, and I was working out at the gym with my trainer, going hard, and he looked at me. He's like, "You're turning green," and I thought he was just messing
I'm
with me.
sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you knew this guy, like he's always messing with me and like trying to get me to to go harder and
Uh huh.
really pushing me and all that stuff. So I'm like, he's just messing with me. Um, and then I got home and I was about to jump in the shower and I started getting dizzy. I'm like, that's weird. Um, so I was like, all right, let me just lay down before I jump in the shower and figure out what's happening. Maybe my blood sugar's low or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So I laid down and it was just getting worse and worse. Like this is like dizziness that I can't even describe. It was a very strange
Mm-hmm.
uh, feeling. Um, and then my hand started tingling. I'm
Mm-mm.
like, all right, that's not normal.
That's not
Something is
good.
going on.
Yeah.
So luckily my wife was home, and she called 911 and the ambulance came. Uh, and as soon as the paramedics came, they gave me a chewable baby aspirin. And I took that, and immediately I felt great. I'm like, all right, I'm good. And I was
So
like,
no, you're
see you
not. You're
guys
coming to
later.
the hospital.
Exactly. So they're like, do you want us to bring the stretcher? I'm like, no. I'm like, I can jog to the ambulance if you want me to. I'm fine. So in the ambulance, they hooked me up and to some machine and
Mhm.
took my blood and stuff. And they said, "Oh, you're having a heart attack." I was like, "What? Like this is ridiculous. Like, are you sure?" Uh, yeah, it was wild. So
So
I
you
got
had
to the hospital.
you had no pain in your chest or anything?
No, nothing.
Wow.
It was just like yeah, the dizziness and the tingling.
Wow.
Um, and then they put the stent in, and as soon as I put the stent in, I felt like a new man. I was like, wow,
Mm.
like you could feel it.
More blood flow.
Uh,
It's more blood
yeah,
flow. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, you're getting
Um,
the blood is flowing the way it's supposed to. So yeah, you're going to get more energy for sure.
yeah,
Well, thank God you didn't get dizzy on your way home in the car.
exactly. Yeah,
Because
that was like really lucky. Like I I feel so fortunate that that nothing like that happened, because I mean, that would have been
it could have been,
catastrophic.
yeah, could have been real bad. So take us back to your teenage years when you were the first time you were diagnosed with cancer, and then like you said, when you were diagnosed the second time, you're like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Do you think life is picking on you?
No, I honestly I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm asking the
I,
question because I see, was it Jamie? Is it you said Beisel is his name?
yeah, Faisal. Yep.
Beisel.
Yeah.
He said Neil is the epitome of strength and positive thinking. So I mean, you had this happen twice to you. Obviously, he knows you.
Hmm.
So you must be a guy, a man who has a positive outlook on life, no matter what's going on, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to always believe the positive side, see the glass as half full, not glass half empty. And obviously, you're that way. So when these things are happening to you, I mean, I've never had a heart attack. I've never been diagnosed with cancer. I've had stuff happen to me, and in those moments or at those times and those things that weren't good, I had negative thoughts. I had negative thoughts about life. I had negative thoughts about me. I'm a spiritual man, so I had negative thoughts about God. so,
Yeah.
so those times are challenging when it comes to our faith and our belief. So you went through this. Tell us about when you went through this battle with cancer when you were a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting experience. Um, I I think the one thing that at least I didn't expect, was I felt a lot of guilt,
Really?
because I saw um, what what my parents were going through,
Mm.
um, and as a parent now, I can totally
Right.
see
Identify
that.
with. Yeah.
Um, but
Don't want your
I
child to suffer. Yeah, you don't want your child to suffer at all.
exactly. Um, so at that time, my main goal was to, at least on the outside, show that everything was perfectly fine, just to make it easier on my parents.
Hmm.
Um, and actually, uh, when uh, when all my hair fell out, um, I got a wig for because my mom, it really hurt her to see, I lost all my hair, my
Hmm.
eyebrows, you
Hmm.
name it.
Hmm.
And I could see how much it hurt her every time she saw me in that state.
Right.
Um, and she wanted me to get a wig. And at first I was like, oh, like I don't want to wear a stupid wig. Like, this is me. Like, I don't care. Like,
Right. Right.
whatever.
Hmm.
Uh, but then I really saw, like, it was really giving her a lot of pain. So I'm like, okay, I'll get the wig. So I would always wear it around, um, when she was around. But as soon as I would leave the house to go to school or something, that wig was coming off.
Going out looking like Fryar. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what kind of cancer was it, and how long did it last? What was the battle? Did you? I mean, obviously you're doing chemo if your hair fell out. So how long did it last? What exactly was it?
Yeah, that was Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Mm.
um, and it had manifested itself in the lymph nodes in my chest. So that's where the radiation came in there. So I had radiation treatment and chemo and a couple surgeries, and the whole thing lasted about maybe a little over a year, to for all that stuff.
That's a lot for a child. How old exactly were you?
I was 16.
That is a lot in a year's span of time for a 16-year-old teenager, male or female.
Yeah.
That did it have any lingering effects on you in any kind of way?
Uh, I mean, I would get some like aches and pains
Hmm.
here and there, um, but nothing too, nothing too crazy.
Well, you couldn't play football.
Yeah, yeah.
You couldn't play. They took, well, obviously they told you not to play sports, right?
I still played tennis.
Really?
Um,
Nice, nice.
yeah, I still played tennis, and even, even though I couldn't play organized football, I
Hmm.
would still play backyard ball,
Hmm.
which was probably 10 times worse because we had
Of
no
course.
pads
Yep.
and we were complete maniacs.
Yep. Yep. That's why that's how I learned how to play football, backyard football.
Yeah.
You survive backyard football, you can survive college football, you can survive professional football, because backyard football, yeah, it gets pretty rough. So before we let you go, man, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. What is your, and I see, is it Jesus? Is that your dude? How do you say his last name? How do you say Jesus' last name? No? Is that someone you know? He said, "Good evening, Pastor Neil."
I don't think so.
Or is it, I want to say Jesus
I
is
don't,
Jesus. He spells his name like Jesus. You know? Is that how you say his last name?
I
Is
don't
that
know
right?
him.
You don't know him? Okay. All right. Well, good evening, Jesus. I believe that's how you say your name. It's not Jesus. Good evening, Billy Bell. Said this is a strong, yeah, he's a strong man. Billy Bell said, "You're a strong man." Yes, he is a strong man. The thing
Thank you.
about Neil, that is the best thing about Neil, in my opinion, is that he's a fun guy. He's a nice man. He's an approachable man. He is a normal man, someone that is easily to befriend, someone that is easy to talk to, someone that is easy to be around. He's not a cat that's bitter because of the things that he's gone through. I mean, I'm sure they made you tougher, Neil, but you've gotten better, not bitter. We go through life's struggles and life's challenges and the frustrations of life and the trials and tribulations of life. And many people, when they deal with those kinds of things, they don't get better. They get bitter. They become, they have bad attitudes because, they take on the mentality, well, woe is me. Not necessarily woe is me, but why me? And, you need to do this for me and you need to do that for me because I've been through this and I've had to go through that. No, everybody goes through something. Everybody's dealing with something. That's why you need to be careful how you approach people, how you deal with people, because everybody is dealing with something at some point, whether it's the day, whether it's the month in their lives. Everybody, it's different for all of us. Your struggle is your struggle. My struggle is my struggle. Some of us, our struggle is internal. It's not something that is a disease like cancer or an imprisonment like I had to go through. It's not something like that. It's something just inside you need to deal with in you that's jacked up. And you got to struggle to get over it, to get through it, to be released from it. So what is your message, man? What do you tell people when people find out about your story and they get an opportunity to have a conversation with you? What is it? What is the message that you give to people? Tell everybody before you leave, tell everybody what your message is, and that's how you got where you are and why you are who you are, because you live by that message.
Yeah, I would say, in terms of their own health, be an advocate for your health. Um, if the insurance company or the doctor says you shouldn't get something tested and you want it tested, fight for it. Just do it. It's worth it. You never know. Like my previous doctor, he's like, "Oh, you're under the age and you have no family history." Well, guess what? I was the first one in my family to have it. So it would have been nice if he had checked it and we could
Right.
have caught it much sooner.
So it could very, very much so could have been avoided and prevented
Hmm.
had
Exactly.
had it been checked. So just because, and even these days, it's been documented that we, particularly as men and men of color, we need to get our prostate checked earlier. Like 40, 45 years old. Don't wait till you're 50. Don't wait till you're 55. That used to be the case 20 years ago. Now it's the age of 40 and 45. Get your prostate checked. Make sure you go to the doctor. Get your PSAs. Get all that stuff looked at. Get your blood work done.
They're taking your blood anyway. So just do the PSA test. They already have it. So just run the test.
And the blood doesn't lie. It's in the blood. Don't lie. And if your doc sees something strange, get tested again. And if it's still strange, make sure you get a specialist and get it looked at, because it will save your life. It will save your life.
Absolutely.
You end up having problems just because you're being lazy and don't want to go to the doctor and don't want to get the test. No, it will save your life. Neil, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Just being open and honest. I see you in a different light now. Now when I'm going to see you. Before, when I saw you the first 2 times, because I saw you again the second time yesterday, I'm like, you're the patent lawyer, aren't you? You're like, yeah. I'm like, so I remember you. But now when I see you, it's going to be, I've had a paradigm shift. I've been given more and additional information about you. Now I'm going to see you, not that I saw you in a negative light, but now I'm going to see you in a different light, man. Your story is amazing. I believe you're an amazing man. You got an amazing wife, amazing kid. This battle that you're in right now, you're an overcomer, and my prayers are with you, my brother, and nothing but the best for you. You're one of the heroes in this world. People talk about professional athletes and how strong they are and what they can do and accomplish on the field. But man, what's more important is how strong you are when it comes to life, how you deal with life. And in dealing with life, how you treat other people along the way. Because we can take out the negative things that happen in our lives. We can take that out on other people as we journey through. But man, you're just upbeat. You're positive. You have a great, high, good, positive energy about you. And man, I just appreciate you for coming on here at the Fireplace, because this is the place where the conversations are fire.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. So I'll be in touch. All right.
Sounds good.
Look, say it. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. All right, brother. I'll see you in a few. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Talk to you later.
Later.
Listen, if you haven't been informed, if you haven't been inspired by today's guest, you need to go back and watch this podcast again. What a story. What a positive attitude. And I believe a positive attitude goes a long way when you're dealing with negativity. When you're trying to get through a problem, when you're trying to deal with an issue, when you're trying to overcome a challenge in your life, being positive, which is hope. It's faith. Hope is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things we cannot see. You have to have a positive attitude in order to be an overcomer. You can't think it's not going to happen, because guess what? If you think it's not going to happen, it ain't going to happen. If you think it is going to happen, you believe that it's going to happen. You believe that you're going to make it through this. You believe that you're going to be healed. You receive your healing. You receive the victory. But if you don't, you won't. If you do, you will. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. Billy Bell's in the house. Good to see you. Y'all don't go anywhere. Listen, I got another commercial. We got to pay the bills. We're going to come back right after that, and we're going to say bye. I'm going to shout out to all of you. Joey, I see you. Huron, yep, I see you. Don't go anywhere. Watch this commercial. We'll be right back. I guess the commercial doesn't want to come on. Let's go commercial. Stuff doesn't seem to want to work right here. Let's try it again. Commercial. All right, there it goes. All right, Stouffer Structures. Stouffer Structures is a 49-year-old family business. Stouffer Structures is a storage, shed, and garage company located in the heart of the Amish country. Yes, they ship structures nationwide. You can check them out on mysheds.com. They strive to be the undisputed choice of modular garages, sheds, and outdoor living products in the United States while furthering, this is why I love them, the kingdom of God. Yeah, they have great products too, don't forget, y'all. Yeah, Stouffer Structures is known for their fast delivery, great quality, and great client service. So if you're looking for a garage or a shed or any kind of outdoor living product, Stouffer Structures is the way to go. Keep them in mind, y'all. Stouffer Structures can be found on mysheds.com. And listen. Peter Zook, the owner of Stouffer Structures, I know him, good man. 10% on any purchase you make from Stouffer Structures. Yep, let me put my face up here. 10% discount for any purchase you make from Stouffer Structures when you mention the Fryar Place. Good God Almighty. Yes, sir. 10% for watching the Fryar Place. Outdoor structures, anything you got to do with structures going on outside of your house, sheds, garages, any kind of outdoor living products. Listen, Stouffer Structures is the place to go. Mention the Fryar Place, 10% off any purchase you make at Stouffer Structures. mysheds.com. Listen, great show today. Shout out to all of you. Mama, I see you. Mom said that was a great message for all the men. Don't take it lightly. Nope. Make sure you get checked. Make sure you go to the doctor. Make sure you get your physical. Make sure you get your blood work. Yes, you have to. And understand this too. Just don't think that it was the doctors and the medicine. It's God that brings the healing. Nothing's going to happen if God's not involved. Just understand that, all right? And God heals in 3 different ways. God will miraculously heal you. So if Neil went to the doctor and the doctor said, you know, I've heard these kinds of things before. I know people with these kinds of things. You got cancer. And then sometime down the road later on, after not taking any medicine, say Neil said, you know what, I'm not taking any medicine. Then somewhere down the road, he goes back to the doctor and the cancer's gone. Guess what? God healed him. If it happened that way. Yep, God healed him. God does that. God will heal miraculously. But then there's another way that God heals, and God will use doctors and medicine. Yes, he will. So don't be discouraged if you don't have a miraculous healing in your life, if you have an issue with your health. Because God will heal you with medicine. He'll allow the doctors to diagnose you and give you the proper prescription, and you take the medicine and the healing will take place. Yes. So have faith, yes, in the doctors. Have faith in God that God knows what he's doing, because he will use modern medicine to heal you. Or the last way God heals is he takes us home. Yep, he takes us up out of here and we go to heaven in his presence, and we're healed. Trust me, we're healed there, because there's no more flesh up there. There's no one dying up there. There's no more hurt. There's no more pain. There's no cancer up in glory where God is. God heals us by taking us home. So great. I mean, just a great guest today. Another great conversation. This is where the conversations are fired. Billy Bell's in the house. Shout out to you. Mama, shout out to you. Christopher Cunningham, shout out to you. Joey Huron, shout out to you. Brian Lemansky, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being with us today. Scott Teller is in the house. Shout out to you. Thank you for bringing my attention to Neil. Yep, thank you. Appreciate that, Scott. I think it's Jesus. So Jesus, God bless you. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to butcher it up. I'm very bad at saying names. I don't know why. But thank you for being with us today. Please come back. And Jesus, thank you. Jesus, Jesus, however you say your name. One or the other. I know I got it right one of those 2 times. Listen, go to the Fryar Place on YouTube. Yep, go to the Fryar Place. Search, or go to YouTube. I'm sorry. Go to YouTube, search the Fryar Place, and subscribe. See there? Subscribe down the bottom, and then share, make a comment like you already have, and make sure you like the Fryar Place. All right, go to YouTube. I see you're watching on Facebook right now, my Facebook page. Go to YouTube and subscribe to the Fryar Place. Christopher Cunningham, Jamie Beisel, God bless you again for being. Jamie, please, we're on every week. Go to YouTube, search for the Fryar Place. That's Fryar. You see it right there. Yep, Fryar. Search the Fryar Place and subscribe. Do me that favor. Thank you, sir. Billy Bell, you too. Go to you're here every week, Billy Bell. Go to YouTube and subscribe to the Fireplace. Jamie's in the house. Shout out to you already, Mama. Vincent Capriati's in the house, and Scott Teller. Listen, y'all, we'll be back next week. We're going to be live next week at the Cigar Code. Same time, here at the Fireplace, 6 p.m., 6 to 7 p.m. We're going to be live at the Cigar Code in Philadelphia, 939 North Delaware Avenue, right next to Rivers Casino. We'll be live at 6 p.m. next Friday with a live guest. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get us a current Eagles player. It's just difficult. Some of those guys, they're young. They don't necessarily jump at the opportunity to be on the Fireplace. They got a whole lot of other things to be concerned about, like winning football games. So we're going to do our best to have a live guest that's a current player next week. Keep your ears and your eyes open. I will post. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I will post who our guest is going to be sometime between now and next Friday. But we'll be back here at the Fireplace with the Conversation of the Fire next Friday, 6 p.m. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all, we out of here. Thanks for being with us today. Make sure you're kind to yourself and be kind to other people. Why? Because you reap what you sow. Yep. Be kind. Peace.